guys, I'm back and it is time for Top 5 Wednesday. I am so excited about this week's Top 5 Wednesday because it's the beginning of March and the girls over at the Top 5 Wednesday group didn't upload as soon as they wanted to. They decided to make this category free. So this topic is just free, so you can go pick a past topic and do it, or if you've done a topic and you want to update it to make it more updated to what you're reading now, go right ahead. But I decided to pick this particular topic, and it's Top 5 Wednesdays rereads, you know, books that you would love to reread. For me, I decided to do a little twist on this because so many people are talking about rereading in March, and there's reread-a-thon going on later in March, and all these things about rereading this year that I'm so excited about because I haven't reread in a long time. The last couple of years I haven't done any rereading, and I love rereading. It's one of the things I enjoy about reading, period. Once you find that great story that you're absolutely in love with, going back and visiting it again. It is just one of those things. I mean, I don't understand people who say they don't like to reread because you rewatch movies, you rewatch TV shows. What's the difference with the book? I've never quite understood that, you know, people who read the book and then move on, you know, but to each his own. I am a rereader. I always have been, and I probably always will be. But anyways, what I decided to change up about this is I decided to pick the 5 genres. Like, I took a retelling, I took a juvenile, I took a classic, I took an adult science fiction, and then I took a paranormal fantasy. And I just picked from all the genres that I normally like to read, and I picked one from each one. Of course, I have classics and things like that that I would love to reread, but they're not my go-to books or genres. So I decided to go with books that have been calling my name and that are genres that I typically read. I didn't go with the norm, my top 5 normal, because that would have been Cassandra Clare, Sarah J. Maas, Harry Potter, Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion. Those are like always books that I will pick up at any given time and reread a book. But I haven't, like I said, I haven't done it in a few years, and I don't feel like you guys, I feel you guys already know those books, already know how much I love them, already know that I talk about them a lot. So I decided to change it up and give you guys some of my lesser known favorites. So with that being said, I should probably get started. The first book I picked was a classic, and these are in no particular order, I don't know, but the first one I picked was The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and this is my all-time favorite classic, other than, you know, it's, if I had to pick a top 10 classics, this would be it, and then Pride and Prejudice, Gone with the Wind, you know, that type of thing. But this right here, oh, I've loved this since I was a child. I've watched the movies, read books. I have various copies of this, and I love it. I love the idea of finding something that was discarded and dying and bringing new life to it and giving it, basically giving hope and finding love. And it's such a good story of renewal, recovery from loss, and, you know, the grieving process, everything. It covers so many things in this book, and it's so beautifully written, and I just love it. I mean, I couldn't say enough about it because it is just such a beautifully written story, and it definitely had to make the top 5 in this because it's been calling my name. It's been sitting on the shelf calling my name. Now, this particular version will not be opened and will not be read because I have other versions, but it's just such a pretty version that I had to show it on camera because Jade bought it for me, and I won't even take it off the plastic just because I want to keep it so beautiful. I mean, not to say that I won't take it out of the plastic someday, but right now it stays in the plastic because I just don't want people touching it. All right. Next is Vampirates, and this is by Justin Stomper, And it is Demons of the Ocean book 1. And there's a 5-book series, I believe, and it is about twins, Connor and Grace, and they are on a boat, and they somehow, there's a storm, and they both get thrown off the boat, and they're picked up, one by a pirate ship and the other one by a vampire pirate ship. So it is the story of them trying to get back together, trying to figure out how to navigate these new worlds that they're not used to. And it's so well written. It's not dumbed down at all because of the age. I think anybody at any age group would really love this because it doesn't feel juvenile, if that makes any sense. It definitely feels, even though the age limit's lower, it doesn't feel like he's taken it and played down in any way to any audience. He definitely wrote it in a very intelligent way, and I think young and old would appreciate that. And it is just a really, really good story. I am a huge pirate fan. I'm a huge vampire fan, and putting those two together was a no-brainer for me, and I really, really need to reread this series. Oh my gosh, it was so good, and I am due for a reread for that. Okay. Next is my science fiction fantasy book, and that is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. This has been calling to me for, gosh, probably since last year. I've wanted to reread this for a long while now. That's why it made this list, because this book by far is Stephanie Meyer's best book. I really wish she would have wrote a sequel to it, and of course we haven't gotten one, but maybe she might. I mean, she surprised us with other books, but I really, really would like to read more of this. But I'm very thankful for what she did give us. I mean, and it's very well written, and I did enjoy it a lot, and it's calling my name. And most of you guys know what this is about, so I don't really need to get into this big explanation, other than the fact that I love the relationships in this book, and not the romantic relationships so much as the relationship between Wanderer and Melanie. Those two really form a bond, even though everything is kind of crazy and the way everything goes down. And I loved that. I love the personal growth. I love the science fiction aspect of it. And I just found it to be fantastic. So definitely something that's calling my name and why it's on this list. Okay. Next is my paranormal fantasy. This one is a true favorite of mine. I absolutely adore this one. It is definitely in my top 10, maybe top 20 by now. I don't know. My list grows. And this one, Tiger's Curse by Colleen Houck is phenomenal. It is about a girl named Kelsey who works at a circus, and she's taking care of the tiger, of course, and she finds out that he's a cursed prince, and she decides to go and help him first escape from the circus, and then to help him break the curse. And it leads them all over the world. It is beautifully written. When they end up in these other parts of the country and other parts of the world, Colleen Houck describes them so beautifully. It makes you feel like you're there. Then you've got the Indiana Jones aspect of where they're trying to break the curses. They're going into these areas, these temples, these things like that. And there's booby traps and all these things. And it's just so good. And there's magic, and there's mythology, and it's just fantastic. And it doesn't feel like it's too much, and it doesn't feel overdone. It just feels like it's just right. So I am definitely wanting to reread this, and it's just nagging me too. So, but I love it. All right, last but not least is my retelling, and this is by Frank Bador, and it is hands down the best Alice in Wonderland retelling I've ever read. I mean, absolutely hands down the best. And I've read a lot, but this is my absolute favorite. And this one is about a girl named Alice Hart who leaves Wonderland because she's being chased out by her aunt who has taken her throne, and she's running for her life. And she ends up in Victoria, England, Victoria, London, England, whatever. And she's trying to figure out how to get back, but in the meantime she meets Lewis Carroll, And that's how the whole story of Alice in Wonderland gets written. But she's trying to get back to reclaim her throne and get her evil aunt off of it and save her people. This is phenomenal. It is hands down, like I said, the best. And I haven't read this in quite a few years. And oh, it's been, and every time I think about it, I'm like, I need to reread that. And I just haven't. And it's such a shame because it's such a great book. So I think this may be the one that, if I don't do any of the others, this may be the one I do. It's just because I've been itching to read this for so long. But anyway, if you guys like any of these books, I've read any of them, if you want to read any of them, let me know in the comments below. We can talk. I will see you guys all soon with a new video, probably Friday, and I'll talk to you again. Bye.